So a while ago, I made this video called Breaking Bad episode titles tier list, and at the end of that video, I promised I would have the Better Call Saul titles video out the week after. This was originally because the video was going to be all the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul titles in one video, but I chopped it in half and uploaded the Breaking Bad ones first because it was taking me too long to make the video. So then after that, I decided to edit the Saul video, and I realized the video just kind of sucked, so I gave up on it. And then a few days ago, I saw Quinn the GM did a similar video on Game of Thrones episode titles. So I thought, hey, maybe I should give that Better Call Saul video another crack, since a couple of you have been asking me about it. Anyways, on with the show. So here we have the tier list. I've got all the different titles down here for each season. I've color coded them. So I'm going to be judging them based on kind of like how it sounds by itself, how it represents the episode, and if it's just like kind of cool and unique. Yeah, but mainly how it sounds. Anyways, so starting off with season 1, episode 1, Uno. So unlike Breaking Bad, this one's not just called Pilot. I don't know if Better Call Saul actually had a pilot or if they just ordered the whole season. I think they did, so that's why this one isn't called Pilot. I should probably talk about how every episode in season 1, with one exception, they end with the letter O. Not sure what they were going for there, but it's a cool little thing, I guess. Makes season 1 a bit more unique. So Uno makes sense because it is in fact the first episode. But yeah, it's nothing really outstanding or anything. It just kind of doesn't tell you much other than that's the first episode. So I'm putting this one, I'm going to give it a C tier. C is C. It's like, you know, pretty chill. Anything above C is like pretty damn good. Anything below C is pretty damn lame, especially E and F, obviously. Moving on to Miho, episode 2. They do say this word a bunch in the episode, referring to Tuco, of course. If we're trying to fit with the O naming scheme, the only other thing I could think of calling the episode would be Tuco, but that's obviously a bit of a spoiler if you decide to look at the episodes before watching, because I guess this is their first big like, oh, check it out, Breaking Bad. Yeah, I'm not huge on this one. I don't like it as much as Uno, because it's just like a thing they say. Well, I guess Tuco is pretty prominent in the episode, so maybe could be a C, but I'm just gonna stick it there for now. Nacho. So this is what that other, it's kind of the same thing with the Tuco one. Although this episode's kind of all about Nacho. It's like his proper introduction episode. Jimmy's trying to get him out the whole time. A lot of fun shenanigans there. Underrated episode if you ask me, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm just going to shove that one right there. All right, Hero. Out of the O titles so far, I think this one's probably the best because Jimmy is in fact the hero of the episode. As we know, this is when he climbs up a thingy to save that guy, although it turns out he orchestrated it. And yeah, I should probably say right now, I'm a big fan of one-word episode titles. I just think they're really clean, so I definitely like season 1 for that. This one, I'm gonna also... I'm feeling a B on this one. Can't have too many C's. All right, now here's a tricky one. Alpine Shepherd Boy. So this one, you guys probably already know, this was originally going to be called Jello because there is in fact Jello in the episode. But apparently the owners of Jello, whatever the fuck, they were like, no thank you. So instead of trying to come up with something else that still fits with the O thing, they just gave up. If you watched my videos before, you already know I love this episode. This is like my favorite episode of anything ever. And you know, you could say the fact that it doesn't fit with the mold of the other ones makes it like not good at all, but for me it kind of elevates it, makes it stand out. I'm always like, ooh, what's this next word? Alpine Shepherd Boy. What is an Alpine Shepherd Boy? And then you watch it and it's a little porcelain guy. So yeah, I don't think I need to explain myself. That's easy S tier. 5-0. I've got some beef for this one. First off, this is the 6th episode, and you're going to put the number 5 in it, really? And I do know 5-0 is like it's a cop thing. It means something. No one fucking knows what it means. But, you know, if you're calling an episode 5-0, it needs to be the 5th episode, and it's not. So I'm chucking this one. I'm not going to put it in F tier because it's still pretty good. Like, it is about cop stuff and a lot of cop stuff in the episode, you know? So I feel there is appropriate. Bingo. There is, in fact, bingo in the episode. Not much else to it other than that. I'm just going to chuck that there. Rico, one of the most underrated episodes. I'm sure Quinn will agree with me. I'm trying to remember. I think they do say the word Rico in the episode, so there's that. And also, I don't know, it doesn't really like grab me. Doesn't really draw attention to what the actual episode's about. You know, it's about like the sandpiper thing, but I guess they are investigating that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna put it right there. Pimento. This is a good one. Pimento from one of the most memorable scenes of the episode when Mike reveals his love for the pimento cheese sandwich. So it's definitely better than the other ones. Don't know if it's A level. Actually, I think it is. Pimento, it's classy title. Pimento. And Marco. There's a guy called Marco in the episode. It's pretty important in the episode. He does basically get introduced and also die in the same episode, so that's something. But I don't like it the way I like Nacho, probably because it's just the exact same thing, but Nacho did it first, you know, naming the episode after a character, so I'm going to put that there. So that's season 1. Looking pretty bottom heavy so far, but that's fine. We got some bangers coming up, starting with Switch for season 2. So basically, this one's kind of got a double meaning because there is in fact a switch in the episode at the end that Jimmy flicks like a little idiot, foreshadowing that his tenure at, what's that place called? Davis and Maine isn't going to go that great. But also the episode's kind of switching it up because at the end of season 1, it was kind of like, oh my god, he's going to have his Saul Goodman moment already. But no, there's a bit more going on. Jimmy switched up his life a bit. Starts off switching away from a lawyer, but then at the end he's like, nah, I'm going to pop that one right there. Cobbler. I love Cobbler. It's kind of like the season 2's Alpine Shepherd Boy episode, just a little silly one featuring my favorite character, Price. And this episode, this title is one of those ones where at the start you're like, oh, I don't know what that is, but then by the end you do know what it is and you get to giggle at it because Cobbler is a pretty funny scene. I'm gonna pop that one. Boop. Actually, Amarillo. This one's pretty fucking lame. There's Jimmy goes to Amarillo at the start of the episode with his big hat to swindle some folks into joining the Sandpiper cause, but there's literally no impact. There's literally nothing else has to do with Amarillo in the episode. I'm actually gonna chuck that one right there. Not a fan. First F-bomb. Right, gloves off. This one's pretty good. Mike and Tuco get in some fisticuffs. I'm gonna give that one a C. Rebecca. So here's another one named after someone. And once again, Rebecca is in the cold open, and that's about it. She might have been mentioned by Chuck during his chat with Kim. Yeah, naming something just after the cold open, which is unrelated to the rest of the episode. Not really liking that. I'm gonna put that one down there. Barley High, kind of the same deal. Not the cold open, but there's this one part where Jimmy calls up Kim on the phone because he's trying to get her back. And he sings this song, the Barley High song. I couldn't tell you how it goes, I forgot. But other than that, not much else to do with the episode, really. I'm gonna pop that one. I can't put too many in F, can I? Tell you what, we're going to put it there. Inflatable. So this is referencing the inflatable thing that kicks off one of the best montages in the show when Jimmy decides he wants to get himself fired. It's just a cool word, you know, inflatable, intriguing. I'm going to pop that one way up here. Fifi. So this one is referencing the plane that Jimmy and his boys go to film a little video at. Yeah, once again, season 2 is a lot of these, just random things that have nothing to do with the rest of the episode. I guess they weren't feeling that. Oh shit. I should probably mention season 2 has this thing where the first letters of each title, if you rearrange them, they spell out Fring's back, referring to Gus Fring himself. I guess that's kind of cool. But if that meant the quality of the episode titles had to like kind of bend, kind of get pushed down the hole to make it fit that, I don't think it was worth it because also it was pretty obvious that Gus was going to come back anyway. So yeah, I'm going to put that there. Right, nailed. So this one, when I hear this, I think of Chuck hitting his head on at the copy shop, hitting the nail on the head, so to speak. But yeah, there's something going on with that one, so I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna put it there. And click. So click is like a military term. It means 1 kilometer. Not really sure, but it has to do anything other than Mike's sniping shit at the end, I guess. But also it could be like click, like the click of the tape recorder of Chuck hitting it at the end. Yeah, season 2. Not that good in the title department, I don't think. I'm gonna chuck that one there. I like to be negative on my tier list. I haven't made many tier list videos, but I usually like to be pretty negative so that a whole bunch of stuff just doesn't end up here. I like to be pretty exclusive with my S's and A's, you know. Anyway, moving on to season 3, we got Mabel. This one's just talking about when Jimmy finds that Adventures in Mabel book with Chuck at the start of the episode, and they're reminiscing, and then Chuck ruins it because he's a fucking bitch. I'm just gonna chuck this one down in, because the Mabel thing actually does come back at the end of the season. During the Lantern cold open, you see Chuck reading it to Jimmy, so it's got some sentimental value. So I'm just gonna pop it there. I'm feeling generous with this one. Right, Witness. This one's pretty good. So we got Chuck getting Howard and that one PI guy to be witnesses for Jimmy's little chicanery at the end, and we've also got Ernesto talking about how he witnessed the tape recorder. So a bit of witnessing going on. I'm just going to chuck that there. All right, sunk costs. Finally back to a 2-word title. There are in fact sunk costs in the episode. Kim mentions sunk costs, but beyond that, I don't think there's as much else to it. It's just a thing that exists. I'm just going to chuck that there. All right, Sabrosito, which is Spanish for tasty. It's just a word that Don Eladio says in the cold open. So once again, it's just a cold open thing that's unrelated to the rest of the episode. Not a fan of that. Chucking it right there. All right, here it is, the big one, chicanery. I mean, this is just, yeah, there we go. What else? Not much to say on that one. Like the most memorable line of dialogue, not just in that episode, but maybe the entire show. Chicanery is now a permanent fixture in my vocabulary as well, probably to an annoying degree. But yeah, love that title, love that episode, love that scene. Yeah, good shit. All right, off-brand. So Jimmy does in fact say this phrase when he's talking about his advertisement stuff. But I think it's appropriate after chicanery. Because season 3 is kind of like in 2 halves. There's like the first half, which is like the climax of the Chuck and Jimmy conflict. And then the second half is kind of like the aftermath of Chuck kind of going crazy and then Jimmy just fucking around for a bit. So I feel like the title is pretty appropriate. So I'm going to pop it right there. Expenses. So Jimmy's in a bit of financial hardship this episode. One of the best scenes is when Drama Girls tries to give him some cash and he's like, no, I couldn't possibly. And yeah, it's just a pretty apt representation of the whole episode. So I'm gonna pop it there. I can't have too many C's. All right, I'm gonna do these ones together. Here's a cute little thing. Slip and fall in episode 8. Slip, there's a bit of slipping going on. Jimmy slips over when he's trying to coerce the advertising guys to do an ad with him. I'm gonna pop that one there. And then fall, kind of the second half of this one. In this episode, everyone's kind of having like a fall from grace. So Jimmy, this is the one where Jimmy's trolling Irene into all her friends fucking hating her. Not very nice of him. He's having a bit of a fall from grace. Chuck is asked by Howard to leave HHM. And then Chuck's like, no, I'm going to sue you. And we all know how that ends up. Nacho reveals to his dad that he's in some shady shit and his dad's not impressed. Nothing, really depressing episode looking back. Not a fun one, but I'll put both of those there. And then Lantern. So I think this is another really good one because the Lantern was something that was foreshadowed back in season 1. I don't know if it was intentional, but in Alpine Shepherd Boy, the Dr. Cruz is like, oh, can't have a lantern, you burn your freaking house down. And then we see the Lantern referenced a couple times throughout season 3. And then it's the focal point of the cold open. And then, of course, at the very end, Chuck uses it to burn himself down. So I'm going to pop that one way up there. I think it's a pretty classy title to end off season 3. So we're halfway through now. Things are looking pretty evenly distributed, which I like. So Smoke. This one is also pretty appropriate because there's a lot of fire from the end of the Lantern episode, as we know. At the start of the episode, we see like a bunch of like embers, debris flying around. And yeah, the whole episode's kind of like the fallout from season 3. At least with the Jimmy plot. Mike's doing his own random shit, but that's not important. But yeah, and also they say that Chuck did die from smoke inhalation and did not suffer, sadly. So yeah, I'm going to chuck that one up here. All right, breathe. The only thing that's kind of related to this is Gus wrapping his bag around that one guy at the end. What's his name? Arturo. He can't breathe for a bit and then he dies. And I'm going to pop that one down. Just gonna put it there for now. All right, our first something beautiful. So there's 3 episodes that start with a something beautiful, something stupid, and something unforgivable. And I think there was a big missed opportunity here because none of these episodes really have anything to do with each other. So something beautiful, that's a line that Jimmy just says in the episode to Mike when he's talking about his little Hummel heist. Something stupid is pretty appropriate because, you know, the something stupid montage. Great song. And then something unforgivable is just once again, it's just a line that Jimmy says. It's not really related to anything, but we'll get to those later. For now, something beautiful. I'm just gonna put it there. Talk. Mike talks. They wanted him to talk. He talked. Just chucking that down there. Right, quite a ride. Once again, it's a line of dialogue from the cold open with nothing else to do with the rest of the episode. Although you could say Jimmy goes for a bit of a ride this episode, hanging out with a bunch of shady guys trying to sell phones, but I feel like we can do better than these. I'm just going to put that there because I'm feeling mean. Pinata. There is a pinata in the episode. Well, actually, no, there's not. There's some makeshift pinatas in the form of those biker guys who fucked Jimmy up, and now he fucks them up. So I'm just going to chuck that. I'm being too negative. There are so many in D and E. I just don't like these ones that just have nothing to do with the episode other than like one scene or one line of dialogue, you know? Not speaking of, Koshada. The Jimmy side of this episode is revolving around the quest to free Hugh Babineau, and the place of Koshada is a key part of that plan. Jimmy goes there at the start of the episode to send a bunch of letters. This is just a great episode. Pretty good title. I'm going to pop that right there. And I just realized I missed something stupid. Something Stupid. Great title. Refers to the best montage of a show, or one of the best. Technically, it is only related to the cold open, but in this case, it's such like an iconic scene, an iconic song. It's just total banger. I'm gonna chuck this one right there. Not quite an S tier if you ask me. All right, Vida Sen. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. For the longest time, I had no fucking clue how to pronounce this word, which is a shame because I do actually have German heritage, so there's literally no reason for me not to know how to pronounce it. But I do now because I did one German class in uni. This is the word that the German dudes write on that big rock that they blow up. It means see you again or see you later, that kind of thing. But other than that, I guess you could say at the end of the episode, Werner escapes the construction thing they got going on. So he's kind of saying like goodbye, but you know, other than it being a pretty unique title, I'm just going to pop it there. I'm being so inconsistent, but it's not that serious. It's not that deep. All right, ending season 4 off with a banger though. Winner, the song at the start of the episode, of course, instant classic. Jimmy's amazing speech to Christy Esposito about how the winner takes it all. And then at the end of the episode, Jimmy does win. He gets a big dub. He gets his lawyer thing back, swindles everyone, including Kim. Total Chad. That one's way up there. Classic. All right, season 5. This one's got some weird ones. Magic Man. That's what Jimmy refers to himself as when he's trying to sell off his cell phones in his new Saul Goodman persona. He says Huel calls him the Magic Man because he got him off scot-free. Pretty memorable scene, but other than that, yeah, it's just kind of that scene. But I'm feeling nicer about this one, so I'm just going to pop it right there. All right, 50% off. Technically only really about the cold open, but it is a pretty memorable montage, that one. Anyway, I'm just going to pop that there. Right, the guy for this. Not big on this one. Lalo says it to Jimmy. He's like, "You're the guy for this." Not much else to do with it other than that. Not big on that one. It's too wordy. I don't know. We don't need 4 words for this, and they're all like short words as well. It's not big on that one. I'm gonna pop that one down there. It's not quite an F. All right, Namaste. So this is kind of a recurring thing. Well, not recurring, but so Jimmy destroys Howard's car with bowling balls. But we see the Namaste car more than just that once. We see it when Jimmy and Howard are hugging it out before Howard leaves, and we see get a look at his car. And Jimmy is trying to buy the bowling balls at the start of the episode, so there's kind of like a through line throughout it. So I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna pop it there. Plus, Howard's car is such like a memorable thing that keeps coming back, especially in season 6. All right, Dedicado a Max. Hopefully I didn't fuck that up. Basically just means dedicated to Max. It's talking about that memorial that Gus built for his totally not boyfriend. This title, so lame. Too many words. It's just related to one scene. Not big on that one. But it's not F. It's an E. All right, Wexler v. Goodman. When season 5 was coming out and I saw this episode title when they were doing the previews, I was so hyped. I was like, oh my God, we're getting some real conflict here. And then the episode comes out and it's not at all what I thought. It was even better. Love this episode. And the title pretty much represents the episode perfectly. You know, Wexler and Goodman are going at it. Not in the way you would expect, but definitely a good one. I like the use of a V instead of versus. It's just kind of more, rolls off the tongue better. Kind of like Batman v Superman, you know? You guys like that movie? Anyway, S tier. All right, JMM. So Jimmy's bag that Lalo notices that he gets at the start of this season says JMM on it. It either stands for James Morgan McGill or Justice Matters Most or Just Make Money. It's up to your interpretation. It's not like that representative of a whole episode, but at least it's more than like one scene. Like the first shot of the episode is literally the JMM bag when they're getting married. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to pop that up there. Bagman. This one is simple, straight to the point. Technically, it is just a word that Kim says. She calls him a bagman, but he is in fact the bagman. He is a bagman in this episode. He has those bags, and he is going with them. Yeah, this is just a really good title because, like, at first you wouldn't know what this episode's about, you know? Like, I don't think anyone expected Better Call Saul to do, like, an epic desert action adventure episode in the middle of its law show, but yeah, good title. Not quite S tier, though. I think it's definitely an A. Bad Choice Road. This one's once again pretty good, referencing Mike's famous bad choice, well, not bad choice road. Jimmy kind of coins a bad choice road thing, but Mike's the one who starts talking about roads, and then Jimmy really poorly tries to re-explain it to Kim at the end. And everyone is on a pretty bad choice road. Jimmy is definitely on one. Kim kind of puts herself on the road at the end of the last episode. I mean, during last episode when she meets up with Lalo, and then getting even more involved at the end of this one. And of course, her resigning from Schweikart and Coakley. Big bad choice there, or maybe it was a good choice, I don't know, but yeah, I'm just gonna pop that right there. Pretty iconic name at this point. Well, not iconic, but like recognizable. And here we go, Something Unforgivable. has nothing to do with the other Somethings episodes. What's really annoying is previous episode, Bad Choice Row, literally had a reprise of the Something Stupid song at the start. But that episode isn't called Something Unforgivable. This one is. And in this one, Something Unforgivable is literally just a line that Jimmy says. But also, Nacho betraying Lalo at the end. That's probably a bit unforgivable in Lalo's eyes, but also season 6 never follows up on that. I will never stop complaining about that. But yeah, I'm kind of cheesed off of this one. I'm just gonna put it like there. It's like a catchy title by itself, but I just don't think it was the right episode to be named that, you know? So there we go, one more season left, season 6. And this one's doing another gimmick. We're back to kind of like a season 1 thing. This one, every episode, it's a word and word, or word and 2 words in this case, until we switch over to the black and white episodes, then we go back to more normal titles. We're doing Wine and Roses, and I'm just gonna say I don't really like this and thing. The word and word thing. It just kind of gives us some of the worst titles in my opinion. But Wine and Roses, the first scene, the cold open, has the Days of Wine and Roses song. It was also in the trailer. The song does like kind of vaguely resemble Jimmy and Kim's relationship, but Jimmy and Kim's relationship isn't much of a focus in this episode. It's more just about picking back up from season 5, reestablishing where everything is. Jimmy and Kim's relationship doesn't get much development or time devoted to it. It's more like, let's troll Howard shit, which, you know, is all fun and games and all, but get it. Anyway, there we go. All right, carrot and stick. So this is referring to when Kim and Jimmy are having their talk about the carrot and stick in reference to their trolling of the Kettlemans. Jimmy just wants to use the carrot, but Kim, she's pretty evil in this episode. She wants to go full stick. They also do reference a carrot and stick thing way back in season 2 with Mike and Nacho when they're talking about price. How Mike and Gus are handling the Nacho situation currently is a bit of a carrot and stick thing. Mike's carrot is, hey, let's just go save him. And at the end, Gus is like, nah, let's get the stick. Nacho's dad. And Mike's like, hell no, dog. It's more appropriate than Wine and Roses, so I'm going to pop it there. Rock and hard place. So a rock and a hard place, that's a pretty famous expression. Like that James Franco movie. This title is wrong. It's not rock and hard place. It should be rock and a hard place, but I guess that just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So, but yeah, Nacho's definitely in one of these situations right now, and the episode is pretty much entirely about him, minus the little stupid Jimmy plot, minus the word being technically wrong. I think that's pretty good. It's gonna go there. Hit and run. So when I think of a hit and run, you normally think like, oh shit, someone's gonna hit someone with a car and then just zip off. So when I saw that this episode was called that, I was like, oh my god, Jimmy and Kim are gonna get Howard's car and just fucking run someone over. They didn't quite do that. They just shoved Wendy out of a car and then sped off. So it was pretty much, it was like a soft core hit and run. I'm just gonna put it here. No, I'm gonna put it here. I like it a lot. I like it better than carrot and stick. All right, here's 2 of the worst ones. Black and Blue has literally nothing to do with anything when this episode was coming out. It's the English translation of that one Breaking Bad episode, Negro y Azul. So people were like, oh my god, Breaking Bad tie-in's gonna happen now. Only 5 episodes in, and they were wrong. Black and Blue has like, it means nothing. Howard bruises up Jimmy a bit. His face makes his face kind of black and blue. But yeah, this one's a stinker if you ask me. With it, yeah, it's good. I hate it. Not good. And same with axe and grind. There is an axe in the episode. That's it. Although you could say grind, you know, we see Howard's morning routine at the start of the episode. He's on his grind, you know, and having an axe to grind is like it's like a phrase, but it's not really related to anything that's going on. So yeah, poopy bumhole. I hate that one. But thankfully we make up for it with plan and execution. Of course, this one has many meaning. Jimmy and Kim are finally executing their plan in this episode against Howard. And then Howard himself gets executed at the end. Meanwhile, Lalo's also got a plan in motion, which kind of goes a bit awry. But yeah, a lot of planning and a lot of executing going on. And it's a pretty classy title, I think. I'm going to put this one... Ooh, I don't think it's quite S tier. It's a high A tier, but I'm not really ordering like that. I'm just putting them in chronological. Point and shoot, once again, has a lot of meaning. So first off, Lalo literally says the point and shoot thing multiple times when he's talking about, first off with a camera, which Lalo is also doing a bit of pointing and shooting in that regard with Gus in the lab. And then also there's a lot of gunfire going, a lot of guns being fired in the episode, or at least 2 guns. Yeah, I just think that one's pretty good as well. I'm going to put it right there with plan and execution. I think they're kind of pretty much the same quality. And our last our last word and word title, Fun and Games. I'm not huge on this one because Kim does say the word fun pretty prominently, so there's that. But also, other than that, it's only like, you think of a phrase, fun and games, like it's all fun and games until someone gets what's the phrase? Until someone loses an eye. In this regard, it would be Jimmy and Kim having a fun until Howard gets murked and thrown in a hole. But other than that, I mean, that was last episode, or the last episode before that even, so you could have called Plan and Execution Fun and Games, it would have been just as appropriate. But Plan and Execution is definitely a better title than this one. I'm just gonna put it there. It's not as bad as Wine and Roses. Alrighty, last 4, Nippy. This one is like, it's kind of like the same thing with Alpine and Shepherd Boy, where, you know, you have this pattern going and then you throw a curveball out, just massive curveball out of nowhere. Not just in the title, but also that entire episode. I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting the episode after 9 to just be entirely Gene-related wacky shenanigans with a little heist. But yeah, great, memorable episode. Pretty memorable title. It's become a bit iconic, you know? I like to yell out the word Nippy every so often. Every time someone says the word Nippy, I just automatically think of Better Call Saul now. So yeah, it's ruined that word for me, but I'm just going to chuck that all the way up there. Big fan of Nippy. And here's an extra spicy one, Breaking Bad. So this was something I was really hoping they would do. If you've been watching my channel for a bit, I did a Better Call Saul Season 6 predictions video where I did like a bingo card, and one of the things I had was an episode called Breaking Bad, because, you know, there was the Breaking Bad episode that was called Better Call Saul, which was the one where Saul was introduced, and now we have the show Better Call Saul, and it only makes sense that the episode where we introduce Walt and Jesse, it would be called Breaking Bad. So not only that though, there are in fact scenes that take place during Breaking Bad in this episode, the best scenes of the episode, but also Gene and his little cohorts, Jeff and Tall Jeff, are also having their own Breaking a Bad. Gene's going back to his more evil ways, well, not evil, more criminal ways. When I pitched this, I expected it to be like a full episode set during Breaking Bad, but this is probably even better, honestly, with how many layers there are to it, you know? And I'm glad we have this full circle moment with, so now we have a Better Call Saul episode called Breaking Bad and a Breaking Bad episode called Better Call Saul, which makes it all very fucking confusing to write about in videos. But yeah, I'm gonna put that right up there. All right, Waterworks. This is where we find out Kim's been working at a little sprinkler place, Palm Coast Sprinklers, which is it's pretty watery. And there's also a very prominent rain during a couple key scenes set in the past when Saul's getting divorced, and then when Kim meets Jesse in that very, very stupid scene. But and also Kim cries a lot in the bus, so you could say, you know, here comes the Waterworks. There's something going on with this one. I like this one. Waterworks. I just like that word, Waterworks. It's no Granite State, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna pop that one there. All right, last but not least, Saul Gone, and this might just be the most complicated one, because I still to this day am not entirely sure how I feel about this title, because when I first heard it, I'm like, seriously, you're doing that for your last episode, like a pun? But you know, after watching the episode, couldn't be more appropriate. Saul, quite literally, Saul Goodman, he's not a thing that really exists at the end of this episode. I mean, the prisoners still call him that, but he sheds that Saul Goodman persona, returns to James McGill at last. And I feel like this show, it is definitely serious, just as serious as Breaking Bad in a lot of ways, but it's also a bit more silly. So I like having a bit of a silly title. I was kind of hoping for like a classy one-word title like Felina. I still think Felina is a better title than this for a final episode. But it's also, they're not copying Felina, you know, they're doing their own thing. Even though Saul Gone and Felina do share a lot of similarities. They both have Walter White in them for one. Yeah, this is really good. The only question is, I don't know if it's S worthy. It'd be like an A+, you know? It's not quite S. I'm still not I'm like 99% convinced on it, but not 100. Meanwhile, these titles are these are classics. I love all of these ones. There you go, that's it. That's all the episode titles. Finally did it after however many months. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. About 6 months. I know I said it would take a week, but we got there in the end. I did this one kind of, in case you couldn't tell, I did this one very off the cuff. I don't have a script, which is why I'm umming and ahhing all the time. Kind of a test for some future videos I had planned that would be a bit more unscripted as well. So, but there you go. There's my list. Let me know what your favorite episode titles and whatnot are. Yeah, once again, shout outs to Quinn the GM. Go check out his channel if you like Game of Thrones, and apparently he watches my videos as well. So Quinn, if you're watching this, you make good shit. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll be back very, very soon. See you later.